Electrical circuit analysis, B and B Tech students, that is Anna University syllabus. Transient response analysis, Anna University syllabus, third edit. Man Engineering welcomes you all. Transient response analysis. In this class, we see about statement of source free transient response and step input transient response. What is source free transient response? A source free transient response, also known as the natural response, describes how a circuit's voltage or current decays after an external power source is disconnected, with only initial energy storage and components, inductors or capacitors driving it. A source-free transient response or natural response describes how a circuit behaves after an independent source is removed, dissipating stored energy through resistors. Response approaches zero as t tends to infinity. That's meaning is t is 0 to t is infinity conditions. A step input in a transient response happens an abrupt change in input from 0 to a finite value t is 0. Used to analyze how the system moves from an initial state to final steady state. That is important points. A constant is introduced in the circuit. That is, pole is introduced in the origin of the control system. State value through an intermediate transient behavior is t less than 0 and 1 for t is greater than 0. That is step input. Key definition. A step input applies a sudden constant input. Example, V of t. V of t is equal to A U of t at t is equal to 0. Commonly used to test control system stability and speed. Step input is pole or agent is introduced. That is, pole is introduced in your origin. That is step input. In this class, we see A constant is introduced in class 91. That is step input response analysis. Transient response analysis class at Man Engineering link. T is less than 0 and greater than or equal to 1 or greater than 0. Source input response. T is 0 to infinity. Source free response analysis. That is Anna University syllabus. Class 91 at Man Engineering. A constant is the step input response from 0 to a finite value at t is equal to 0. Used to analyze how a system moves from initial state to final steady state. That is an important point. Step A constant is introduced in this circuit network. Source free responses approaches t is 0 to infinity. That is important points. That class 87 to 89 at Man Engineering link. Kindly use this class. Transient response analysis. Step input is transitions from t0 to t infinity. That is initial to final steady state. Man Engineering, thank you.